Yo, 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 what's up, everyone? I hope everyone is doing well. And let's wait till some people come into the chat and I can troubleshoot everything so that the audio is a little bit better than last time. But I really need to, for the next one or for one afterwards, I'm going to look for a different microphone because this one, for some reason, I can't get it to sound that loud as I'd like to. But for you guys, it should be good enough, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just going to wait a little bit to some extra people coming in. And then we're going to start with checking you guys' awesome music. So I'm really looking forward to hear what you guys have made. And enjoy my coffee in the meantime. So now this time I put the comments on a different computer so I can track them as well. I think it's time to just get this party on the road. So let's see, the first patron that I can see here is Whistleblower. So I think I've heard some things from Whistleblower in previous live streams. Now again, with this live kind of thing, if there's something wrong with the audio or the combination of the music and my voice, just let me know, then I can try to fix it. But the thing I'm running into is when I try to put the volume up of the microphone, then it's gonna then the microphone will also pick up my computer system audio. So that's a problem where I'm running into. So perhaps next time I do it with headphones on so I can hear your music inside my headphones and then look a bit silly, but at least then I can get the audio a bit louder of my microphone. But well, I haven't seen any drastic comments by you guys about the audio quality. So let's just start with the first one. It's Crisscross Amsterdam, whenever in the Whistleblower bootleg. So let's hear what he made. For let's see.
Baby, we'll be together when you come over. Yeah, I need you to get you a ticket and I'll make you fly over. You won't make it through. I need some love to get a little bit sober. Won't say goodbye. You won't regret when you're a little bit older. Because whenever, wherever we're meant to be together, I'll be there and you'll be near. And that's the deal, my dear. We're over, you're under. You never have to wonder. You can always play by ear. And that's the deal, my dear, 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 dear.
I think it's a really cool beginning, this one. I really like the melodic, how you went with the original melody and made something really fun to really play at festivals, and I think it's also aimed for the club. And yeah, there is not too much criticism that I would give for this one, because I really like the way you went with this one. I really like the approach that you had. It's a really simple approach, but it really gets the job done well. If I would have to give some constructive criticism, I would say the main leads could have a little bit more high frequencies. I like how you compress them together. They sound really well mixed together. But I'm missing a little bit of high frequency information at the moment. And for the drop, I really like how clean it is. But for me, it could be a bit more gritty, a bit more. The kick and the bass could be a little bit more, yeah, a bit more in your face, so to say. So I think, for the rest, for this kind of music, for this kind of festival music, I really think you did a great job. So let's move on to the next one. The next patron, which is Joel. I'm gonna pick one of the two, just the first one. Let's see what Joel made for us today. And if you see me looking up the screen, that's because my my monitor where the music is on is on top of my camera. So let's see Joel's second chance. If this one works, otherwise we're gonna go on to the next one. This one works. So this track is a trancy track, some progressive house influences. Hope you like it. All right, let's hear it. I really like the progress that you made since the last stream, because you sent the track in last stream as well, and I really think you made great progress in the creation of the sound and how everything is sound together. But there's still quite a few things that I would be able to improve on, or that you could improve on. The first thing, I would like to go a little bit deeper in this one. The first thing that I noticed is that the chords and the arpeggio melody are not feeling each other at the moment that well. I would really look into put them on top of each other and see which notes are really clashing and which notes are playing like one semitone apart from each other, because they're really clashing at some points. The next thing is when the big lead layer comes in, the bass is overpowering everything. So it really look into make a balance mix between your lead sounds and your bass sounds. And then the last one that I had was something with the drop. Yeah, I really like the I really like the melodies that you created, but I think you need to look into a bit how to make those melodies work a bit better sound-wise. Now they're a bit really bright, everything, and the kick is not punching through a lot. But I have to say, like in a month time, like when I think back about the track that you sent last month, I think you made great progress. So I would say, hope these little tips help. So really make sure that the melodies that you choose are chosen wisely and really complement each other instead of clashing with each other, which they're doing now a little bit. But I really like the arrangement now, and I really hope that this will help you and help you create better music for the next one. So let's see the next one. Visor is also a patron. Let's see what Visor made. Let's see the chat. Is there something? Yeah, I agree with Fire Tag and Exmo. The idea is good for the last one, but some things are clashing a bit. Moving on, super work in progress. Now, I'm really curious what that will be. that you try the harmonic minor scale, which is a really specific kind of chord progression. I really like the melody and the drop with it. I think it's really, really cool. It's really grooving a lot, and the sounds are really distorted, really dope. I would try to do a little bit. I liked the direction that you're going with the kick, but I think you can make it a bit cleaner as well. Like, keep the distortion, but make the punch a little bit cleaner. Then I think the overall track will hit a bit harder and hit a bit cleaner in the drop. When it comes to the melody, I really like the chords. I can hear the chords are really clean and really bright and really wide. But the main lead, that's the main top melody that's playing, I think that could have some more attention. And then to really get that as well fitting right in your face, right in the mix. But I have to say, kudos for you to do something in a really specific scale. There are a lot of scales that people are not using in dance music. I think this is like the least unknown scale, but still a scale which isn't being used a lot. So kudos for you for trying that out, and I'm really looking forward to hear what the end result will be. Let's see what Exmo has made. Next patron. I think I missed one patron. No, I didn't. Oh yeah, Salah. I need to think that I come back to Salah. Hey Husman, thanks for all your tips and support for us producers. We hope you like a new track. Alright, let's hear it. Triplets is always good. Triplets, I like triplets.
Our radar, speaking of two strange metallic bodies, I presume they're spaceships. I'm putting you in command of the spaceship. Activate radio contact.
Alright guys, I really like most of the elements of this track. I think those vocals are amazing. If you listen to my music, I use a lot of those kind of vocals as well, but these ones are especially really dope. I really like what you went to with the breakdown, with the melodies, and the drop as well. Now, if I would have to critique some parts, the first thing what really struck me is that the vocal in the second breakdown isn't sounding as well as I'd hoped. I don't know if I think it's kind of out of key, or it's just a bit too detuned, but it's something that's not right there with the vocal. Now, when I listen to this, the big chord melody here, I hear a lot of things which are really detuned and really wide, and that's what happens when you make everything wide and really detuned. There's not a lot of punch, not of snappiness in it. So I would really look for a kind of a plucky bass line, which playing those bass notes to really be in the middle and being mono and really hitting through the mix, and then have one sound which is a little bit more plucky, a little bit more snappy to really give the melody some punch, because now it's a lot of really big saw leads, really big detuned stuff, and now I'm missing a little bit of the punch of that melody layer. Now I really love the drop. Nothing too that I can think of which I really don't like at it. I think it's really dope. So yeah, those would be my points. I think overall really cool track. I really like the atmosphere you set with this track, and really like those vocal effects, and the drop is also really cool. So cracking job. Next one, let's see. I forgot one here. Salah. Let's see what Salah Adin made. Let's see if my internet can take this link. Yes. Come on. So fun when it's live. Really liking this drop as well. I think it's really, I really like the kick. It's really snappy, really in your face. I really like those, the rhythm that you have going, like the I think there's a really cool bouncy feeling with this one. And one thing I would say is when you do those really cool, crazy tricks with that detuned, yeah, that hardstyle kind of screech, I would really go even further with. Now it's like it's wiggling a little bit, but I would go much further with it, so it's really that you really show off the effect, so to say. Now it's a little bit, it sounds like it's really dope, but I think it could be better if you just crank it up a little bit. Crank that auto panning, or what it is, the detune that's being automated. Crank it up a little bit, and I think that, yeah, that's really dope. And I think for the second part of every drop, I hear something like, now you have it in 16 notes. It would be really fun to have like second 8 bars or something in triplet. So you have da 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 da. So it's, yeah, I'm terrible at trying to make my point here, but I think to change it up a little bit. But overall, the drop sounded really dope to me. For the breakdown, I'm missing a little part here for me personally. It feels like building up to something which isn't coming, and it, like this part from here to here I like, but then this one I'm wanting to hear a bit more exciting melodies and or anything that really catches my ear. So I would look into that if that's something you could add to this track. But nonetheless, really dope track. So let's see, the next one was Cracked. No, let's see, wait. Been rushing all day trying to get this finished to the stream. I think the arrangement final banks are pretty solid, but let me put some pretty on it. Alright.
There's nothing you can do to take me away. There's nothing more to do to take me away. In fact, the love is gone, no more word to say. There's nothing more to do for you. There's nothing you can do to take me away. There's nothing more to do to take me away. In fact, the love is gone, no more word to say. There's nothing more to do for you to take me away. to take me to take me away. There's nothing more to
Yeah, for this one, seeing the things that you put in the description, that would actually be my only feedback that you've already given yourself, is that everything sounds already really cool. It just needs to be knocked off, be kicked in the ass a bit, so it's a bit bigger, everything. One thing that I would like to highlight is to make those leads. You have a really cool main lead and some chords, but I would really give them a bit more reverb, a bit more width, so they're really, especially super soft, so that they're a little bit more in your face. But other than that, I think this one works really well. I really like the effects that you did with the vocal. I really like the arrangement. It's quick, it's snappy, it's like, it sounds really like a big room track should sound arrangement wise. So I would really look into making the drops as well a bit like, now it's a lot of punch in the kick, but there's not a lot of tail. The tail is a bit lacking at the moment, like the sub tail and the little distorted tail to really make that big room kick really hit through. But other than that, I think you have a really great track going on. So I think that covered all the patrons. So let's see the first one. Shikar. Oh no, Sydney. Sorry, Sydney was the first one, I think. No, Mike. Yeah, Mike is the first one. Farooqan, is it Mike? Mike, yes. Right. I don't know what's wrong with me today, but I'm screwing. No. Let's see. The title feedback, I like the feedback. Yes, will do. I forgot a few, but we'll get back to the patrons after this one. My bad. I mean, if this is your first track, that's really crazy good. I think it's like, when I think back about my first track, I can't even remember when I made my first track, but I couldn't even get something done in an arrangement, and you've already nailed like the uplifting trance arrangement. You already have great melodies, I think. And yeah, for you now, I could give you some feedback on where to look at. What I would say is that make sure that when the drop hits in, that it's really in your face. Now it's a bit too, the kick and the bass and the leads are not working together well. But it's really difficult if this is your first track to really give you specific feedback on that, because it's, when you're just starting out, you really need to train your brain, train your ears into knowing what to listen for. And it's something that's doesn't happen overnight. But I mean, if you can already make this as your first track, then for you it should be like in 2 weeks, you know how to do it perfectly. So I'm gonna try to give a few specifics that I need. Yeah, for instance, like with this one, I would add a little bit more sidechain. I would really give it a bit more high frequencies because uplifting trance is normally has a lot of high frequencies. And other than that, I would just encourage you to just keep experimenting, because if this is your first track, then I really think the sky is the limit for you. So that's that one. Now, I made a few mistakes because I saw there were 2 patrons here as well, which I didn't see. So let's do those first. So first, Box of Arrows, and then we have Moreno or Moreno. Yes, Gaspar. Who's gonna win UFC 235? I'm gonna put my house on John Jones, but... for this one, I would really encourage you to... Now it's like a loop of 3 minutes with mostly the same sound playing around. And I think if you do as an exercise to start this melody that you start off with in the beginning, and try to see how you can make this melody sound interesting throughout the 3-minute mark. Because now what I'm hearing now is like it almost sounds like a loop and it doesn't sound like a song yet. So I would really look into which kind of tracks you really like personally, and then really listen to how they build their tracks up. And I think if you can make some mental notes about how some parts, which sounds you want to have, and really dive deeper into which kind of sounds you can use, I think you can create crazy stuff. And now it's a little bit different for me to really critique this, because it's 3 minutes, but it sounds more like a loop to me, and that's okay. I mean, everybody starts a track with a loop, so I would really now look into how can I make this into something really interesting. And especially when the kicks and drops and the kicks and percussion come in, it sounds like they're just being put in there and not like building up towards it. So I would really look into a little bit of arranging how you can make this into a logic arrangement with taking different sounds and putting them in, taking them out again. So yeah, that would be my feedback for this one. Let's see next one, Matrino. Let's see what he made. Let's see. really cool ideas in this one. I really like the main drop. I really like how you combine the main melody with different kind of bass line. It reminds me a bit of Mikas. He's was a trance producer who did the same kind of things with combining melodies and drops. When it comes to the first drop, I would like to hear a bit more bass in there. I really like the kick, has a really great punch, and the leads sound really cool as well. But I think the sub and the bass is a bit lacking there. When it comes to the breakdown, I really like the mysterious starting point of it. But then when the main leads come in, I would like to see something a bit more unique. Now it sounds a bit like, yeah, one monotone synth playing the same melody. And I would think for this one, especially because you're gonna do the lead synth as well in the drop, I would really like to see if you could do something that's a little bit different, so the drop will feel a little bit more different as well. Because now the listener is already has some kind of idea what's coming, because it's a same synth playing that same melody. But I think overall with that main lead, a main drop, I think is really dope. Right, let's see the next one. Sydney, let's see what Sydney made. Alphoric, Sound of the Future.
Sound of the Future.
Found in every known culture, past and present, varying widely between times and places, since all people of the world.
This one is sick, man. I really think you have a really amazing kick drum, and I think that's something you should keep in a lot of tracks moving forward, because I think it sounds really different than a lot of kick drums that I've heard through the last weeks. So I would really, yeah, top job with that one. I think the break is really cool. The melody is also really cool, but I would like to see the volume a bit higher of that one. You can see it as well here. Even in the waveform, you can see when the melody is supposed to be coming, the volume is lower than the part before, which takes away the impact of the melody. Now, when it comes to drops, I really think the drops are really dope. There's only one sound which I think is a bit too loud in the mix, and that's that long bass line which is coming in every so often.
Sound of the Future.
Then on the second kick drum, there's a really loud bass which comes in a few times, which takes me a bit away from the main groove. And that's the only thing that would say to look into. Make sure that it's still it's still easy to follow, because it's really dope. The sounds are really cool, but I've sometimes a little bit, I think it's mostly because of that bass line, because it's so loud, that I lose the structure a little bit. But nonetheless, I think the track overall has lots of potential. I think it's a great track. So, cracking job, mister. Let's see what Shika made. And then I'm gonna go a bit random. think this drop is really amazing, man. I think it's really dope. And I think, yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, I think the drop is really dope. I really like also the transition you did from the drop to the breakdown. I think it creates a really great atmosphere. Now in the breakdown, I really hear a lot of atmosphere going, really great melodies, but there's that vocalist playing over almost the whole breakdown, which I don't really like because it's taking me away from the feeling of the whole track. So I would like to see if you could make some space for everything else, so you have that more, yeah, that awesome little yeah, Swedish house kind of, what are they called, the Magnificence guys kind of sound, which I really like, and I really think that would make it even better, so you have a really clear listen point for the breakdown. Now there was one thing in the drops which I would think to remove, and you have that champion vocal, which is amazing, but you have some sort of a vocal in between it which does like boo boo. So again, great. Like champions, boo boo boo, champions. I would remove that whoop 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 because, oh, this is terrible. But how I'm explaining this, because I think it's taking away from the groove. You have like da-dun, the champions, da-dun, the champions. That's much more easy to follow groove. So I would remove that sound or make it fit the groove a bit better. But other than that, I think it sounds amazing. I would definitely play this. So make sure to send it to me when it's done. Right, Revio, what have you made today? Revio ID, let's hear it. Oh, sorry. Alright, man, I think a lot of great sounds in this one as well. Especially the last drop. I didn't expect that to be different than the first drop. But I think the last drop is definitely the best drop where you have a little bit more groove going on. With this one, I really like the melodies. I really think you created a great atmosphere. But there's one thing I have a little bit with this one, is that I'm missing a vocal chop or a unique instrument that's really playing a main melody in the breakdown. Because now I'm like, I have a little bit of feeling that I'm waiting for the drop to come instead of listening to the story that you want to portray with this breakdown. And yeah, the leads, I quite like the leads, but I think the kick drum is a bit too too punchy. There's not a lot of low frequency going on in the kick drum. I think if you combine it with a bass line which has a little bit more low frequencies, a little bit more of that body to really make it bounce a bit more, then it would be even better. But I think, yeah, the most important thing for me would be to add something that really gives a little bit more a special feeling to the breakdowns. Someone says I forgot a patron track, but I thought I had everything. Which one do I have forgotten then? Is this one? Ah, here is one. My bad. My bad. I'm so sorry. Let's hear it. Xerxes Sentinel. Let's hear this one. +1 for the artwork. Man, I think this one is also really dope. I really like it's like a combination of Mark Sixma and Andrew Royale with the melody when it goes into that little classical territory. I really like the main leads. I think they're really big. It's something that I mentioned, I think, a few tracks ago about something that's really snappy with the leads. Now these ones are really detuned, but they have they have something which really make it snappy, like some compression, some bass frequency that really hit that impact of the notes. Your kick is really dope. It's really good, but it's too low on volume. That's why I had the feeling when the drop was coming in, there wasn't that really big impact for me because the kick was a bit too low in volume. So I would crank up the kick, or just lower everything else, and then in mastering, let the whole thing be a little bit more louder. And the last thing that I heard is that you use some really cool choirs in there, but if you want to use choirs, make sure that they really sound fit in the mix, because now they sound a bit like on top of the mix. They don't have a lot of reverb. They're not really they're not well compressed yet, so they feel a little bit, yeah, for lack of a better term, I don't mean this negatively, but they sound a bit amateur. And I'm only saying this because you have everything else is really mixed well together, and then the chords, the choir is like just pushed on top of it. So it really look into compression, EQ, reverb to really make it fit in the mix. So that was my 2 cents. Let's see what we got here. We got here Brian Verstappen. Let's see what Brian made for us today. What's up, Teran? I hope you're doing well. Now, this is what I mean with making a track with a breakdown where there's really a breakdown where you've really thought about a story. I really see the title, I hear Pandora, I think about Avatar, I hear those voices, I hear those little ambience, sound effects in the back, and I think, yeah, that's really a great way to make a breakdown, to really tell a story. And then there comes that really amazing melody in there as well, really cool placed main leads. I think you nailed it with the breakdown, guys. This thing's really dope. Now for the drop, yeah, it works really well. It's that kind of revealed rhythm. I think it's for me a little bit too sharp, if I would be really critical, but I think for the rest, I think this is a really cool track. So, and especially because of this breakdown, I really like this breakdown. It's something unique. It tells a story, and it's always when I'm working on tracks, it's really difficult to, when in big rock music or in EDM music, if you don't have a vocalist, if you don't have vocals, you don't necessarily need to have a vocal that sings something. Like with these kind of melodies, you already set a really unique feel. So, great job. Let's see. Next one, which we're gonna do. Leonardo Didi. Did I miss so many patrons today? Sorry. Maybe next time I tell everybody to put patron in front of the name, so I won't make these mistakes. Ah, no. No. All right, then let's go to Raoul Young. Event Horizon. Sounds important. Yes. Any moment now. Ignition.
We exist in cyberspace. Enter the atomic age. Doubt what you have been taught to.
What's up with all of you guys finding those awesome vocals today? I've been looking the whole day for finding great spoken vocals, but no luck.
Welcome in an alternate reality.
I think it's really cool. It's really the sounds I use are really interesting. I really like that you again found a dope vocal to really enhance the breakdown. For the main drop, I would really listen to. I would compare that main screech that you have. That melody is dope, but I would compare it to W&W and Armin's Your House Is Mine or Our House Is Mine, and then listen to how they mix that kind of screech in there and how wide it is and how gritty it is, because now it sounds a bit too sweet, for lack of a better term. And I think if you make it a little bit more angry, so to say, so it's a bit more screamy, then it will be even better. Now you have a really cool approach with that main chord layer, like, but I could be mistaken, but it sounds to me like you have a big super saw and then you have that really cool, I don't know what kind of, sort of a Technicolor synth that you have as well, but they're, to my ears, they sound like they're both playing in the high frequency spectrum, so, and they're both really wide, so I would think to make that spectrum kind of, that the Technicolor, I mean a reference to Madeo, and that's why I think about it, to make that sound a bit more mono, and then remove it a bit on certain places to really boost it in like the mid-high range. So it's really, it stands a bit out from that super saw. You have more like, so not everything is playing at the same frequency spectrum and same space. So it's a bit, so it still sounds like one sound, but they're peaking at different places in the frequency spectrum. But other than that, I think it's a really dope track. So let's see what we can find. Let's see. B. Sup, Nicolo? I hope you're well. B. Accelerate. Cool bike. Man, I can really hear that you have a really distinctive melody in your head, which works really well. But I would really encourage you to try to bring that melody into different sounds, because now it sounds like a little bit of a muffled trumpet in the drop, which playing that da 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 da. I think you have a really, like, your melodies are really dope for the drop, especially. You have the bass line, which works really well melodically with the leads, but the sounds are not that interesting yet. So I would really look into how you can make the sounds a bit more, if you listen, I think you might have been inspired by Mike Williams or Jay Hardway or those kind of guys. So I would really listen to and look for tutorials about how they create their sounds, and then take that as a starting point to creating your own kind of sounds in that future house genre. But nonetheless, I think you have a great starting point, so I hope this helps. Let's see, we're going to do a few more, because I want to go and watch some television, because it's already evening here. And I've been making really bad music all day, so I'm kind of happy that you guys are making great music, so I have something to do. I actually made a track with Dennis Cartier a few years ago, I believe. Or we did a remix for each other. I love it. I think it's really dope. I really like when somebody makes a track which doesn't have a lot going on, but the things that it has going on are really dope. It's just like the but the sound choice is really well done. It's really shows that less is really more. Like you've known that you wanted a certain kind of rhythm, certain kind of drop, you know which sounds that you wanted, and you brought everything together really well, which created this awesome remix. So great job. And I would definitely play this kind of music. So let's see. I'm gonna do a few more. Let's see, 2 or 3 more. A few things with this one. Overall I really like it, but sidechain is your friend, so use it a bit more on your bass line, because it sounds like that rolling bass line is a bit overpowering the kicks and stuff. And then the other thing is I really like that A-B section that you have with your melodies, but try to lower in the mid-high frequencies those supersaws a bit, because they're a little bit sharp to the ears. It's I think about around 14,000 hertz, 13,000 hertz. Don't quote me on that one, but it sounds a bit too harsh for me there. And then overall, like, it sounds really big, it sounds really loud, but it sounds also some parts a little bit messy. So I would try to listen, to leave it for like a day or so if you've been producing on it a few days after each other, and then come back to it and really listen carefully to where you could make some room for each of the individual elements. But I think overall the arrangement is really dope. Just clean it up a little bit and it's really dope. So the last one, which one should I do? We're gonna go for Gaspar, and it's only for the reason that I know he likes UFC. No, just kidding. Let's see what Gaspar made for us today. like the melody that you have in this one, especially in the breakdown. I think that's really dope where you add some groove into the melody as well after the first bar. Now for the drops, I like the drops, but I think that you could increase the power of the kick a bit. It's now a little bit too much. Yeah, it's a bit too low in volume for me. And it's I don't know if it's the right kick for this one. I don't know if the problem the punch or the bass for me, but let me hear it again. Yeah, I think the sound is quite right, but it should be a bit more forward in the mix. And that's one thing that the vocal for me doesn't sound that good with this track. I think, yeah, I just don't think it fits that well. So, like, the drops I think are really well made. Look a bit into how you can make a better kick drum and then change the vocal. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I would personally remove the vocal. I think look for something different that would really fit there. And yeah, that will be the last one for me today. And I had a really busy day, but during this day also today I released the new Patreon packs. So I forgot today actually to upload the video that I made for it. So I thought might as well just show it to you guys here as the first. So the first you can have the first listen and see what I've been making for the patrons this month. So let me do this real professionally. I made a new video. So and then we're gonna end it with that. So I really hope that I could help you all with some music, and then let's hear. And I hope that you hear some cool sounds in here. It's available for all patrons, and I made a orchestral track for the music pack as well, which is available for all the patrons that are subscribed to there. So this will be the last thing for today's stream. I would thank you all for sending your music, and I really hope that I could help you guys with making better music. And yeah, enough mumbling by me. So hope you like these sounds, and then I'll catch you on the next one.